You are listening to Larry Conners, USA.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
This is Larry Conners USA. Larry Conners USA.
Frankly, outdoor mask mandates should just go, regardless of whether you're vaccinated. There are a lot of locales and states that still have blanket mask mandates. So even if you live in a suburban area or rural area where you don't see that many people, there's still mask mandates in place. That does not make any sense. So I actually think outdoor mask mandates can go.
Yeah, I'm all in favor of that. You too, I assume. This is April 27th, 2021. That is Dr. Leanna Wen. She is a CNN medical analyst. She had one time served as a Baltimore health commissioner. She's in an interview with Anderson Cooper, Anderson Cottonmouth, as I call him, because he's normally spewing a lot of poison when he opens his mouth. So she's on there, and she's saying, as you heard, I think masks can go. We don't need, certainly in rural areas, outside, you don't need a mask. CDC trying to come out with new regs on when and how you should wear a mask. 1, 2, 3, 20. And, of course, once you have the mask, do you have to, or you have the vaccination, do you have to wear a mask then as well? It's interesting because as he's doing this interview with their own analyst from CNN, then he starts trying to say, well, he's trying to get her to change her mind. It's a pretty interesting exchange. I'll have that as part of our program on the next 2 hours. We also have the issue that, in fact, this story just crossed. Let me bring it up to you because I just saw it come across. The Andrew Brown Jr. shooting. This is the one that took place that now there is catching a lot of attention, and understandably so. The autopsy, according to what has been released on this particular shooting, I'll give you more details in a moment, but the autopsy at this time, according to them, is indicating that he was shot by deputies. This taking place in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Andrew Brown Jr. fatally shot in the back of the head while trying to drive away from sheriff's deputies who had already shot him 4 times in the right arm. That is what the autopsy is saying, and that being released with the permission of the family. Well, of course, when he was shot in the head, he lost control, crashed into a tree. A copy of the death certificate says he died within minutes as a result of the gunshot wound to the head. Deputies say they shot him because they were trying to execute a warrant, and the defense attorney standing up for the family says he's unarmed at the time police opened the fire, that he was, quote, trying to run because he was scared for his life. Again, this is one of these things that you're going to have to get more details. You can't judge it right away. Now, if you're going to be of an opinion that cops are always right, you're already judging it. That's not a good idea. If you're the opinion cops are always wrong, you're going to judge it. That's also not a good idea. How about something called, let me see, what's the word? Facts. How about looking at facts and get all the facts? And generally, you're never going to get all the facts through the media in any fashion. You're going to have to be a member of the jury and watch facts laid out. But again, the attitude is that cops had no right to be shooting at that time. And again, the attorney apparently has, the Brown family has seen a 20-second clip of the video from one deputy's body camera that show what the attorney says was an execution. They've seen it. I haven't. I don't know what they're going to release, and it's certainly understandable that if they're not going to release some of it because it's too violent. The whole thing took place in less than 30 seconds. Now, with that in mind, of course, many are again crying out police brutality, maybe in this case, and then the overall thing that this nation is systemically racist. Systemically racist. That means in every corner and every part of our nation, under any guise or rule or anything else, they're looking to exclude people because of color. I want you to hear from the Kentucky Attorney General. He's a black man. He's a Republican. But he says, I think there's a better term, and we're not that way in this nation. We have our problems, but at the same time, we can move forward. We're also going to be joined over the next 2 hours by Fred Flight, Center for Security Policy, an expert on Iran. Story breaking, as we told you yesterday. John Kerry, as Secretary of State at one time under Obama, and then later trying to undermine Donald Trump, was releasing Israeli intel to Iran 200 different times. But something's got to be wrong with that. We're going to find out. Lock and load. Ready on the right.
You can hear podcast of this program at Larry Connors USA Facebook. Larry Connors USA Facebook.